Hi, welcome to today's video. My name's Paul. This is day 16 of this watercolor challenge. Today's painting is not a landscape. This is, well, I wanted to say still life, but maybe technically speaking it's not still life, as in I'm not actually painting from life. It's from imagination, but it is a vase with some flowers. In the end it will be a greenish vase with some yellow flowers. It's mostly watercolor, but you can see I'm also using these water-soluble pencils. These are, the brand name for the pencils is Inktense, and they're produced by an English company called Derwent. I suppose really the way the pencils are meant to be used is drawing on paper and then using a brush with some water to spread that color around. The way I use it though, I mainly just use them for sketching, and I just dip the lead of the pencil into some water and then draw on the paper. Because the lead is water soluble, dipping it in the water makes it softer, so you get more of the pigment going onto the paper. In terms of the watercolor, it's Sennelier paint. That's the paint I use most. I use just the one brush, this mop brush. The paper is a little bit different. It is, I suppose, a watercolor paper, but it's not as nice. It's a little bit rough. It's a handmade paper. It comes from India, and it's made from recycled cotton rags. The surface of the paper is quite rough, and it feels a little bit hard, as in I think the water and the paint take a little bit longer to sort of sink into the surface than with usual watercolor papers. If you wanted to do very precise work, very detailed drawings, I don't think this paper would be ideal because it is so rough, and trying to draw details on that rough surface would be quite difficult. But for this sort of messy, somewhat abstract thing that I do, it's fine. In fact, it works quite well. So all of the scratching and the pouring water and paint onto the surface, this paper is pretty tough. It can handle all of that. Some of the colors, so you can see cadmium yellow I'm using. There's that turquoisey green and the blue in the background. So as well as doing the painting today, I was also looking at these online art challenges. So this one that I'm doing is just something that I made up kind of on a whim. It was just a way of making me produce something for YouTube every day. The channel is quite new, so I wanted to get some content onto it. Like I said, there are many of these art challenges. For example, next month in October we have Inktober, and then there's things like Huevember in November, Figuary in February. Most of these challenges, they tend to limit the person in some way. So in the case of Inktober, I suppose originally it was about inking pencil drawings, but these days people use all kinds of different things. But you are limited, as in you're given a word each day, and you use that as a sort of a trigger to try and produce some piece of art. The likes of Huevember, you can use whatever colors you want, but you have to include a certain hue, a certain color. Figuary focuses only on life drawing or figure drawing. So you're free to use different materials maybe, but it's supposed to be around figure drawing. So this is the final painting. I'm, as usual, reasonably happy with it. These things are never perfect, but I like the scribbling. It's fun to do scribbling. So if you'd like to subscribe, click on the big red button below, and see you in the next video, hopefully.